Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls around the world, we are 6 days away from the NBA playoffs, the NBA play-in tournament from beginning. We're about to get ready for some postseason matchups in 6 days. This is the CourtSideHeat podcast. I'm your host, Josh Jenks, but we are here. No more hypotheticals of what we're going to be seeing for the postseason, for the play-in tournament. That's all gone. I have so much I want to talk about. From some more insignificant stuff when comparing it to the topic of the day. The topic of the day alone, I want to check on the seeding updates. I want to talk about the plan. I want to talk about how teams are doing. More so, the Suns, the Bucks, the Warriors, all these different teams in the East. In the West. In the East, we have the Heat. Because in the East, unlike the West, what I'm going to talk about in a little bit, the East is very wide open. The West is not. In fact, the West is pretty much rock solid, where in the East, it's still wide open, so I want to talk about that. So many critical elements. And I'm not even being funny when I tell you that. There are so many moving parts. It's actually beyond comprehension. Because in all of this, we have off-season drama. We have injury drama. We have injury drama to Giannis. We have Anthony Davis injury drama. And all this other stuff. So without further ado, you know where to find me on social media. That's the easy part. That's the real easy part. You can find me on X. Hit me up on X. At CourtSideHeat. Instagram. CourtSideHeat NBA. Facebook is CourtSideHeat. YouTube at CourtSideHeat. TikTok at CourtSideHeat. You want to listen to the podcast? Well, you guys already are, but if you guys want other alternatives, maybe not iTunes person, cool, we got Google. Apple Podcast? Maybe not, but we got Google. We got IGTV, right? We're kicking up on there. Of course, we got YouTube. Of course, we're doing it up on X. Of course, we're going to be doing it on TuneIn and Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio. Wherever you get your podcast, it does not matter. We are there. Small company, big company, whatever. We are on there. And you get to hear my lovely voice more and more. Do you know not many people say that? But don't worry. You psychos are here for a reason. But I got so many psychotic things I want to get into. I got many rants. I got some things I need to analyze. I need to break down. I need to tell you. Because it's been a while since I've done a podcast. I've been sick. My family's been sick. Stuff in my life has come up. But now we are back at the most critical time, the most critical juncture of the NBA season. The stuff we've been waiting for and just hoping for since game 1 of the season. Now that I've just gone on for 5 minutes, 4 minutes, however long, let's get into some big stuff. Let's talk about Giannis Antetokounmpo. This happened last night. This happened Tuesday night, actually. I've been getting my days wrong, so if I'm saying wrong days, it's just my intelligence on display. But Giannis, man, the Bucks have already been struggling. The Bucks have been struggling since getting rid of Jrue Holiday and added Damian Lillard. The Bucks have been struggling since getting rid of Adrian Griffin and getting Glenn Rivers. The Bucks have been struggling with the duo of Dame Time and the Greek Freak. There has been so many key turning points and key characteristics that are either lacking or are being shoved down our throats in a very negative way. Sadly, for the Bucks and for the Celtics. Well, less for the Celtics, but against the Celtics, the Bucks are now scrambling because Giannis Antetokounmpo, their franchise leader, the man that helped them win the championship in 21, has suffered a left calf strain during their 149-1 win over the Boston Celtics. This was a non-contact injury, boys. He suffered this injury while heading up the court because he fell on the floor. He fell to the floor without contact while grabbing his left leg. I think if we're going to look at the optimistic side of this all, we're lucky that this is not a torn ACL, torn Achilles, any knee injury, any leg injury. We've seen too many leg injuries. Take Yusuf Nurkic, take Kevin Durant. Kobe Bryant was there with his Achilles. We've seen it many, many times. Jamal Murray, and those had like limited contact, a little to no contact, or just zero contact. And for Giannis to only get away with a calf strain is very, very significant. Now, it's still a calf strain, and they're getting an MRI done today, so maybe when the podcast comes out at 8 a.m., that's already going to be done, maybe not. But the 48 and 34 Bucks, they can't take another blow. Yes, they've clinched the playoff spot, but I'm not talking about the regular season. The regular season means nothing, especially when you only have 3 games left. Especially knowing that your season ends in 4 days. In 4 stinking days. But here's the problem. We're talking about the postseason. Good news for them. They don't have to worry about the playoffs in the next week. Because that's the plan. But in less than 2 weeks, they're going to have to go in their first round matchup. Right? And depending on if things pan out, you don't know who you're going to be facing. But hold on. What if this is a severe calf strain? Is that something you really want to be dealing with by the end of the season? No. Nobody wants their star player, one of their star players, to go down in crippling fashion. See, I wasn't able to watch any of the games live. I wasn't able to report on any games live just because I was doing stuff that just didn't pertain to basketball at the moment, and I was reading through the headlines. I saw that, and I'm like, dang, that is just sad. Because what are the odds? And the Bucks have enough issues. I know I'm going to talk about that, but that's where we're at right now. Giannis has a calf strain, and he's undergoing an MRI on the injury to determine the severity of it. Because I think if it's severe, hold on. No, hold on. Just severe. I'm not a doctor. I think we've all recognized that. But so I want to do this. A severe calf strain is about 6 to 8 weeks. Hold on. What's a mild one? A mild is 1 to 3 weeks. If it's 3 weeks, you're starting to miss the postseason. That's the significance. And I'm no doctor, but I like to play online doc. That's what we do, especially in the Zoom era. We became online doctors. Look at me. I'm Dr. Unix. That's just who I am. But, all jokes aside, this is a very scary reality for Milwaukee and their franchise and the locker room. But here's the thing. I'm not going to speculate. We're going to figure out the answer. We're going to have an answer come today. Whether it's now when this podcast episode drops or tonight. I don't know. But it's going to come today, Wednesday or Thursday, whatever. But we're going to find out. But that is something you definitely do not want to be dealing with. It's not good. This is very inconvenient. I'm going to be talking about this later in the topic of the day when we talk about the play-in, how teams are doing, etc., etc. Now, I kind of want to shift gears. You know, we were in the East talk about the Bucks. Well, let's go to the West and talk about the Lakers. And the Lakers are just, they're not the primetime team the NBA was hoping for. Like, they just have not panned out to be that dominant LeBron team. They just haven't. And to make matters worse, LeBron's dealing with his own injury. But LeBron's fine. Give the dude a break. He's durable. He's finishing year 21. Like, he's accomplished so much. So if he wants to take a few days, let him do it. If he wants to take a few games, let him do it. Don't matter. But the same cannot be said for Anthony Davis, who continues to be hurt. Now, not his fault that he's injury prone. It's not. But he's already been ruled out with a headache / eye injury. Because I don't know if you guys remember, but he was injured. I think it was a game against the Timberwolves. Yeah, that was 3 days ago. He got hit in the face. It looked like a finger hand landed to the eye face after he put a nice putback dunk. But this has now just caused massive issues because he's already had eye issues. Sadly enough, it was the same eye that he injured a month ago. So now he's just going through it. And that is the worst possible scenario for the Lakers. Because they need to be full strength. They need to make sure that nothing can go wrong. Sadly, everything has gone wrong. And you can say, well, hey, he's played a lot of games this season. He's doing a lot better than his normal seasons. And of course, I'm not going to take that away from him. But he's battling through those injuries, which I can respect on all levels. I know he's played 74 games. But he's been injured for a lot of them. He fights for a lot of injuries. He complains about a lot of injuries. And it's just not good. Because how durable is he going to be in the postseason? We know the answer to that. This is the first time he's played 70-plus games in a season since his second to last season in New Orleans, 2017-18. Do you know how incredible that is? The last time he played 75 games was in back-to-back seasons from 2016-17 to 2017-18. In those two seasons. It's absolutely fascinating how injury-prone he's been. And I know that he's played 74 games. Incredible. But his minutes usage, his usage out on the court is high. He's coming off 52-minute games, 40-minute games, 30-minute games, etc., etc. But you keep suffering the same injury. You're having a lot of the same injury. And if you don't have vision, you can't go. That's just a fact. And I don't know how many people are going to sit here and debate to me that statistically, yes, he looks great, especially health-wise. But you can't sit here and debate to me that he's going to be useful in the postseason because he's not going to be reliable because he's never healthy. Again, I'm not blaming his softness on AD and his mindset. His mentality, his mindset is to go out there and play and fight for these injuries. It's not his fault that his body always gives out on him or unfortunate situations unfold. So don't think I'm attacking AD and him being soft. I'm not. It's very unfortunate. We've seen many guys throughout the history of basketball who've just never been able to overcome injuries or always had that injury side connected to him. For all your older guys, a guy like Grant Hill. For someone that had one injury that just derailed everything, Derrick Rose. Now, is it to the severity that it is for Anthony Davis? Boom. Right? But I just don't see how this is going to get better because if he's having headaches, his face and eye isn't getting better. You're really killing the man over here. Now, I know they're going to try to heal him up and fix him, and they're probably going to try to rest him. But if he's experiencing nausea, however you say, my bad, headaches, all that stuff, it's not good, and it cost them a golden opportunity against the Warriors because of injuries, because no Braun, no AD. It's just as simple as that. It's just as simple as that. So the Anthony Davis situation is not going to calm down. In fact, it's probably going to intensify. I'm sorry, but it's just a harsh truth. I hate it to be. I hate for it to be that way, but you just can't sit here and try to convince me that he's going to be fine. I've never seen it before, and I'm not going to believe it. Not because I want to doubt AD, not at all. It's just given his history, it's really hard for me to say he's going to bounce back. And take this season out of it. He's an injury-prone guy. That's his career. That's going to be his defining legacy. Winning a championship off of LeBron and being injured. Again, I'm not trying to take shots, but that's just where we're at. See, I'm going to be bouncing around from the Lakers a lot and the Warriors. But real quick, something on a positive note. Can we please congratulate Isaiah Thomas for just being unrelentless, for being resilient in his efforts to want to battle back and just get back onto an NBA squad, not a G League squad where he was dominating, by the way, but an actual NBA squad. Minutes are pathetic, but hey, he's getting some playing time, but he's able to get some NBA checks and get play in an NBA court again and be with NBA players. He kept the grind up for 5 years. He kept the grind going, and now look at him. He is now signed to the remainder of the season by the Phoenix Suns. They gave the maximum 10-day contracts. He was already there for 20 days. Now he's here for the remainder of the season. He's going to be rolling into the playing tournament postseason with them. It's going to be great. Absolutely great. I'm just loving the fact that this guy. Hey, you want to talk about the ultimate comeback story? We're seeing this being completed before our very eyes. And more people should be talking about this. I've been an IT fan since Boston days, since they were robbed. Right? I like when it was really bad Boston towards the end. And when it was really terrible, and he kept grinding, he kept trying to bounce back. Look, that says a lot. It 100% says a lot. I'm just ecstatic by this. I can't tell you how big of a fan I am of Isaiah Thomas. I love his story. I've been wanting this. I've been covering him for years on this podcast, actually. When he was getting different potential tryouts, I think the Lakers were one. Him and Rajon Rondo were up there. Like, it was crazy. Happy retirement to Rondo. The playoff Rondo, of course. But, oh, man. I'm so happy for Isaiah Thomas. I can't tell you guys how happy I really am. No, this is not weird. I'm not having some crazy obsession over it, dude. I like when guys who really love the game give their whole life to the game and are able to complete their comeback story. And I hope that he's able to play next season as well. Look, I know he's getting up there in age. What is he? what's Isaiah Thomas, like 35 at this point? 34? 35, okay. But it's fine. His presence is great in the locker room. He's able to do stuff. Hey, give him minutes and he'll be able to play. And I'm being straight up when I say that. But I'm so happy for Isaiah Thomas. I really, really do like that. I really do like that. Such cool stories, and a story that that ballers want to. If you're a basketball player, you should see that story, review it, then apply it, because that mentality, that mindset of never giving up, that's some crazy discipline. That's a crazy story. Like, you just can't hate on that. You just can't, and I'm loving every bit of it. I am loving every bit of it. Maybe that's just me, but I'm so happy for that. Now let's shift gears. Let's go back to something a little more negative. The Hawks. We all got to make big updates. We all got to make big changes to rosters, to how things are done. It's just a fact. You got to be able to adapt. You got to be able to say, okay, this is what we're doing. And right now, we're a playing team. We're a 10th seeded playing team. We only have 36 wins on the season. Something has to go. And according to Mark Stein, something does have to go. And it's either the Hawks trading Trae Young or DeJounte Murray. People have made the case of keeping Murray over Young because Murray is able to complement this team better and elevate this team better than Young. Other people are saying to keep Murray over Young because there's more trade value behind Trae Young. So very interesting. There's also saying that Young, in that draft class, in that 2018 draft class, he's the closest thing to Luka Doncic, but he's not being congratulated for that. He's not being what's the right word? He's not being highlighted for that, I guess you could say. Which is fair. Personally, I don't know who you would want to keep. But I thought this was going to be a great duo. I was proven wrong. I just think DeJounte Murray complements his team a little better. Just in recent play and whatnot, but I also see where Young complements his team. I'm not going to talk about it that much, only from the perspective of, well, we're in the play right now. Like, they're in the play, we're in this season. I kind of want to wait to see. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers try going after either Donovan Mitchell or Trae Young. In fact, Mitchell Young, that was actually a report that was coming out a couple months ago, last month, somewhere around there. I could actually see a scenario where we see Young in the Lake Show uniforms, in their unis. I could 100% see that happening. I would love to see that happening. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But, with all that being said, according to Mark Stein, either Trae Young or DeJounte Murray is going to be traded. They're likely going to be traded. And it makes sense. Just, you try to run that experiment, it didn't work. Look, Spurs didn't get much for, like, they got stuff from Murray, but it wasn't detrimental to the future of Atlanta, if that makes sense. For the Warriors, who knows what you're going to be doing with Klay Thompson? Also, who knows? Like, you know that he's eligible for a 4-year contract worth up to $223 million. Right? We know about the possibilities of him having a 2-year contract that expires when Kerr's contract and Curry's contract expires, right? But do you want Klay Thompson to come back? Klay Thompson went on the Draymond Green show and said, hey, I want to resign. Yes, I want to prioritize my mental health, but I'm willing to come back to the Golden State Warriors. He wants to resign with Golden State. But could he go elsewhere? A real possibility, if there's one team that he would go play for that would make sense in a lot of people's brains, it would be the Orlando Magic. Because the Orlando Magic, according to NBA insiders around the league, according to reports, could seriously make a play for Klay Thompson, they have interest in Klay Thompson, and say, hey, we got a bunch of young guys, we got a bunch of young talent. We don't got a lot of veteran shooters, we don't got a lot of good shooters, right? Known shooters, known specialties like what Klay brings to the table. How about we get you that sweet, sweet contract? You come here, you ball out, you finish a nice career, you help out the younger guys. Boom, bada, bang. Wouldn't that be something? If he finished his career in an Orlando Magic jersey, or played with the Orlando Magic for a couple of years, but then had one final season with the Warriors. Kind of what Iggy did. Now, I know he didn't spend his whole career with the Warriors, but I'm just saying, when you think of Andre Iguodala, you think of the Warriors, mainly. It's very, very interesting. Like, what do you do if you're Klay Thompson? And of course, he's taking the smart approach, like, hey, I want to come back. So, if it doesn't work out and he parts ways and it's just no longer there, just fire's no longer there, it's not his fault. He could claim that all day, right? So that makes sense, and that's just every agent player tactic, right? Pretty common. But I wouldn't be surprised if he did go play for the Orlando Magic. It would make sense. But I also could see the core staying together for another 2 years until Curry decides to retire, right? Steve Kerr maybe wants to hang it up because you just don't know what's going to happen in 2 years of the NBA world. You just don't know. Right now, Stephen Curry's 36. In 2 years, he's going to be 38. He's accomplished everything in his sport. Same with Steve Kerr. Same with Klay Thompson. So they can all go out of a bang. And there's a large part of me that believes they're going to go out of a bang of, hey, what we're going to do is we're going to finish out the core because we're going to have our young core of players come out like Jonathan Kuminga, Moses Moody, that one guy's name I cannot pronounce. I'm sorry. PB. I'm just going to call him BP. Yeah. I'm sorry, guys. My brain's not functioning. Something's just not adding up. But anyways. Maybe I can see them riding off into the sunset. Whether win their championship or not, people are coming the dynasty is over. I've already said the dynasty is over. But, if they want to ride this off to the sunset, then leave Draymond to be Draymond. But I think you should trade Draymond. And I think they will. But anyways, if you want to ride this off to the sunset, there is a real possibility of them just saying, hey, let's just give this another shot. You re-sign for us our money, and you get another 1 or 2 year deal after us. Because I think Klay's only what? I thought he was like only 31. I thought he was still pretty young. No, he's 34. I'm an idiot. No, regular people's worlds, that's pretty young. But in the world of an athlete, oh no, that's old. Like, that's older than old. Like, I'm surprised the wheels aren't falling off. But no. So that's just very interesting. And something we should all keep an eye out for. Because you just never know. Now, to get back to the Lakers, you want to talk about having drama. What's going to happen to them this offseason? Because the probability of them going deep this postseason, having a deep playoff run, or making it to the finals, that is slim to none. I think there's a better chance of LeBron James getting my phone number or wanting to text me all the time, right? So I think we have to start talking about the offseason. And there's two big components: LeBron James and Andrew Russell. Start with D'Lo. He's likely declining his player option to become a free agent. And the writing has been on the wall. He's been inconsistent many times. Like, he was going to be traded, but then he just started flourishing. And what's so crazy is he can have big time games or he can have big stinker games. There's really no in between. I know people are all psyched about his return to Los Angeles from when he was a rookie into his second year before going off to Brooklyn, right? All that crazy stuff. But truth be told, has it been the most memorable run? No. But the combo guard has been doing some good stuff. And he's only 28. He's just been very inconsistent. But let's be honest, a lot of guys in Los Angeles, like Russell Westbrook, you know, some careers just die for a short period of time when they're in LA. Unless you're Braun or AD, let's be honest. Right? But I can see D'Angelo Russell declining his player option to become a free agent. Because I think there is a market for D'Angelo Russell. I think someone like that combo guard. The dude is averaging 18 and 6. With him recently going off for 15 7 and 11. Is he the best defense guy? No. But who cares about defense anymore in this league anyways? And he's already making 17 mil. Next season, 18 mil. Why would you opt into that when you could just say, hey, I'm declining, I'm becoming a free agent. I know I can get another 36 or 40 mil, right? Because what's crazy is, when he was with Brooklyn, he had that huge $117 million contract. The problem is, his true colors were showing off, and now he kind of just dipped back down. Which is understandable. But hey, some runs don't work. Nothing really works with the Lakers. I know they had that one fluke championship in 2020. It's all debatable. It's whatever. I like getting people riled up when I say that. But y'all know where I'm coming from with D'Lo, so it makes sense. Plus, how many teams aren't looking for a point guard or a shooting guard? The Spurs are a team. Like, if you look at the number of teams who needs a point guard, shooting guard, let alone a combo guard, there's a lot of them. There's actually a lot of them. Like, if you just start going through the Warriors, now I know he's originally played. I know he was played for the Warriors for like a handful of games, but still, they need a point guard. Rockets need a point guard. Pacers need a point guard. Clippers need a point guard. Like, there's depth. The Grizzlies are a mess, but they need a shooting guard. When you're looking at this, and you're looking at the Pelicans, you're looking at teams that are like the Suns. Okay, the Suns can't get them, but the Magic and 76ers, there's teams that need a depth, that severely need it. The Raptors, right? Now, if you're going to pay big time money, you probably want them to be a starter. That wouldn't be the case for the Raptors because you're going to try to work out different things, right? But I guess but maybe the Raptors could be in play because you could you could slide RJ to the free. Emmanuel quickly can play the two because D'Lo's a better playmaker than Quickly. So I would make the argument that it could go 1 is D'Lo, 2 is Quickly, and then 3 is Bear. Or you could do something like that, right? Then Yak Pearl's at the 5, then it's a free for all at the 4. Something like that. Because I know RJ's been that wing player, right? He's been utilized for that, especially for Team Canada. Anyways, That's what's going on with D'Lo. But what in the world is going on with my man LeBron James? See, he's talking about retirement. Says I'm going to retire. He doesn't retire. Because I want to play with my son. Now his son's becoming a bum. Now he's projected to go in the 2025 draft. I know he has opted into the 2024 draft. I know he declared for that. I know he retained his college eligibility for another season, right? I just don't see the talent in him. I don't. And now it's coming out that LeBron James is expected to decline his option for better security nearing the end of his career. Because according to ESPN's Brian Windhorst, his move is to get career security by declining this $51 million player option, to secure no trade clause, which he's LeBron. He already has one, even though it's not contractually sound, right? But he's LeBron. He does whatever he wants. But he wants that no trade clause. And here's the thing. And Windhorst is right. You can't get that no trade clause if you opt in or extend with the Lakers off this current deal. You have to decline the option to get a new contract written up where you agree to it with those terms and conditions applied, aka the no trade clause. So, in terms of all that, it would make sense for LeBron to return to the Lakers. He can return to the Lakers. There's no problem with that. Because people are like, oh no, he's declining this. Oh no, he wants this and that. He's going to probably go off to New York. I know Stephen A. or whoever wants that. But no, listen. There's a really good chance he remains in LA. There just is. And if I'm Braun, I do want that security because there's no guarantee when you get signed or it's not going to ship you off for another guy. Right now, you can just say because the players are young, it's not going to play. But is Braun like that? I don't think so. But he's never been put in that situation before, that particular scenario. But it makes sense where Braun's coming from. It does make sense. Like, I can't hate on the guy for all that. So this is just another wrinkle in the LeBron James scenario that's unfolding. And I think that's fair to say. I don't think that's wrong for me to say any of that. This is no wrinkle. Because it's not like I'm hiding a secret here. We all know what's happening. Maybe LeBron doesn't know exactly what he wants in his career, and that's fine. But I really do believe he's going to end up staying with the Lakers. Because I don't think he's having a reunion with the Heat. Pat Riley, according to players, I think Giannis Haslam was talking about him. Like, we're calling him dead, this and that. But I really do believe, from the bottom of my heart, he's not going back to the Cavs. Dan Gilbert hates him. Pat Riley hates him. Have you ever noticed that a lot of people hate LeBron? I'm not going to get into this conversation today, but a lot of people hate LeBron James. It's fascinating in my book. Fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. But no. So I think he could return to the Lakers because he's not going to a non-contender. I actually find it really funny if a bottom-feeding team was like, I'm going to draft Bronny so James comes here. Whoops. James like, yeah, you know what? I'm not doing all of that. Psych. I'm actually going the other route. I'm staying here. I'll just play my son when the time comes. Because 82 games, we got to face them. Like that whole thing. So you know what? I can actually, you know what? I can actually see that. Which is kind of funny and crazy at the same time. But no. That's where we're at with the LeBron James stuff. That's where we're at with D'Lo. That's where we're at with Klay Thompson. That's where we're at with a lot of these situations with the injuries. The Giannis injury is just something that's just so grueling and so painful. Even I feel bad. I hate the stinking Milwaukee Bucks with all my heart and soul, my guts, my intestines, everything. Yes, I made myself do a stupid voice crack on purpose. Yes. Don't judge me. But now, for all that we've been waiting for, throughout these 40 minutes of me rambling on, let's get to the topic of the day, ladies and gentlemen. And that topic of the day is the seeding updates, the play-in tournament, how teams are just doing in general, right? Because that's huge. That's 100% huge. Whoever tells you that's not huge, they're either a moron or they're a liar. I'm gonna go both. I like both. Both to me sounds more reasonable, right? There's nothing wrong with me saying both. Anyways, I get off topic sometimes. But here's all the teams that clinched the playoff berth. The, the Timberwolves, Nuggets, Thunder, Clippers, and Mavericks. The Pelicans are the only team inside the playoff bracket that's not safe. Where teams like the Suns and Kings and Lakers could have the potential of sneaking into six. I don't think Golden State has that potential, but the teams that are because the Suns, Kings, Lakers, and Warriors, they've all been guaranteed a spot 7 to 10. Right? They've been clinched to the play-in tournament. They're able to get a little higher, like 6. Great, if not great. That's where we're at. That's where we're at. That's not controversial either because the Rockets have been eliminated, the Jazz have been eliminated, the Grizzlies, Blazers, and Spurs have been eliminated. Now, if you flip that and you go to the East, only 2 teams have clinched the playoff berth: the 62-17 Boston Celtics and the 48-31 Milwaukee Bucks. It's a free for all with the Knicks, Magic, Cavs, Pacers. And let me tell you, JB Bickerstaff could be fired if he does not take that team to the conference finals, the Eastern Conference Finals. That's something very, very legit. Very legit. The Pacers still rebuilding, but they're still making great strides. I don't know what's been going on with Tyrese Halliburton lately with Pascal Siakam. They've kind of dipped, but it's fine. Everyone has their highs and lows, but the Cavs are scared deaf. Like, it's not like they're 46 and 33 like the Magic, who are now building onto their future. Like, hey, we're about to make it to the first round. We're now about to go up against a very solid team, right? So you kind of have that going for you because when you're looking at the 1 plays to 8, 2 plays to 7, 3 plays to 6, so you'll be taking on the Cavaliers. Funny enough, if that's just how seeding ended. Now, in the play-in tournament, you got Philly, and they dropped off without Joel Embiid, like bad. The Heat, they're just waiting for. They're just waiting. Like, I mean, they're just waiting for Jimmy Buckets, for playoff Butler, whatever you want to call him, Himmy Butler, just to turn it on with Hero, Bam, all of them guys. Now, the 2 teams that are play-in bound are the 37-42 Bulls and 36-43 Hawks. That's where we're at now. For the teams that have been eliminated, we have Brooklyn, Toronto, Charlotte, Washington, Detroit. And the funny part is, the Knicks won last night, and they moved to 3rd. And the crazy part is, with Indy and Philly winning, they stand 6th and 7th. In the West, because the Pelicans won, they jumped out to be 6th. Minnesota and Denver, they both clinched the top 3 seed. Not surprising. And since Golden State won, they are now a half a game behind LA, behind the Lakers. But let's be honest, isn't our like ninth and 10th seed fighting? But I don't know, like I think I'd rather take on the Lakers than the Suns. As a Suns fan, I would hope so. But where are we at right now? Honestly, where do we go from here? The play tournament's fine. Bulls versus Hawks, that's whatever. 76ers versus Heat, that's interesting. You got Suns Kings, Lakers Warriors. I just find it so strange. I think NBA 2K24, NBA 2K in general, has finally predicted where we would see teams like the Thunder beat out Golden State. This just been such a funky and interesting NBA season where it's like, okay, we're just here for the ride. It's a roller coaster a lot of these teams did not want to participate in or even be strapped into. But it's kind of telling with the West. It's kind of telling that you have four teams. It's kind of funny. You have four teams trying to battle for the sixth spot. That's the only spot you have left. Like, that's how desperate you are. And here's the crazy part. If there was no playing tournament, we would not be seeing the Warriors or Lakers if the standings finished the way that they were currently. We wouldn't be seeing the Warriors. We wouldn't be seeing the Lakers. We wouldn't be seeing the Bulls. We wouldn't be seeing the Hawks. But, okay, mainly the Lakers and Warriors. Could you imagine that? There's a reason why myself and others are saying that this is the end of an era for Stephen Curry's Warriors. End of a dynasty. But again, highs and lows. And when I'm just checking this out, who do I fear? Let's start with the West. Who do I fear? See, in the postseason, I said, who's the deadliest, scariest team in the NBA? Two teams, one in each conference. I said the Boston Celtics and the Los Angeles Clippers. The Clippers don't scare me that much anymore. Just as an in general NBA fan, and just somebody that just looks at the game, right? The team that scares me come postseason, and undeniably, it's Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, AG, MPJ, all those guys, right? All those guys. It's all those guys because that team is stacked. They're reigning champions, right? The MVPs, like, right? You got guys. Like, you can never say they're not the scariest out of this team. But we're moving them from the equation because I really do believe Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's team is a very scary team. And I don't want to rule out the Clippers, but just from injuries and inconsistencies, oof, they're not the same team that I ranked as the scariest, deadliest team. And I don't think it's the Timberwolves. But now they have a little playoff taste to them, playing taste. So it could be. They're having a very historic season. Having a very historic season. But for whatever reason, I'm just loving. I'm loving it right now. I'm loving the Thunder. I love the Thunder odds. I just do. Because right now, what it would be 1-8, 2-7, 3-6. If the Pelicans finish, Pelicans against Thunder, I'm taking Shai over Zion. I'm taking Josh Giddey over, I don't know. That would be an interesting matchup. But the Thunder should not be taken lightly. They got a good supporting cast. But now, Brandon Ingram and Cedric Collum and Herb Jones and Murphy, all those guys, it's all questionable when you go head to head. But I think if you remove the Nuggets, it's either the Clippers or Thunder. Clippers have a slight advantage in my mind only because they have that playoff experience, and it's Kawhi Leonard who's been there, done that, and you got Paul George who's been up and down the postseason but has that experience, and this team is pretty well coached, and they've gone for highs and lows, and they're still rallying, right? Dallas, don't see it. I think they're going to be a first round exit. I just don't see it. I just find this really intimidating. I find it really intimidating that the Nuggets, if everything ends today, and this is how the seeing was, I find it really intimidated that my Phoenix Suns are going to have to go against the Denver Nuggets. I don't care what people are saying. It's the Denver Nuggets. We're hosed. Same with the Kings. The Kings been up and down, and now they just begin handed blows left and right, like left and right. The Timberwolves don't make easy work of them. But I really do believe that a playing team's just not going to be able to make a deep run because you're adding on extra games, extra blows, extra wear and tear. That'll drain you mentally and physically. I just also don't think that teams like the Kings, Lakers, and Warriors have that firepower. And because the way the Suns play, I don't trust them either. I do not trust the Phoenix Suns. In fact, the Phoenix Suns have just been such a disappointment all season. You can't blame the injuries. You can't blame chemistry. There's something just terribly wrong in that locker room. Because against the Clippers, in the first quarter with 155 to go, the Clippers with 155 to go in the first were beating the Suns by 31. It was 35-4. Now after one, I think it was like 37-10, but still. Do you know how sad you got to be to play almost the entire quarter and only score 4 points? You're telling me in 10 minutes you can only get 4 points? I want everyone just to kill me at this point. Because that is just so incredibly sad. And we saw Russell Westbrook go off, and this was without Kawhi, this was without Harden, but Russell Westbrook and PG played off. He just did. Like, I would actually be ashamed just as what's going on. It makes me sick that at one point it was 47-14, 58-25. Like, it's just shameful. I know we were making a comeback, this and that, but what are we doing here? We got blown out to the Thunder. Like, the West, how can you expect to go to the NBA Finals when you're getting handed horrific losses? Losses that you don't even want to talk about. Losses that make your own mama cry. Losses where it's just like, why am I even a fan of this organization? If I'm the Phoenix Suns, if I'm their fan base, I have no confidence. In fact, confidence is so shot that we've already gone on to next season. And next season's not going to get better. It's not going to get any better. We need a point guard. The Phoenix Suns' issues are this. No point guard, point book isn't working, and too many turnovers. And that falls down to no point guard, no facilitator. That's where Chris Paul came in at. Our main issues. I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. I love the Phoenix Suns. I've been with them since very rough times. But you're telling me that we just mortgage our entire future for a playing spot? And you can say I'm being a Debbie Downer. You tell me I'm being a pessimist. You can tell me that I need to do this or that. I'm being this, that. But it doesn't matter. Wake up and smell the roses. Wake up. Come back to reality. This is a failing Phoenix Suns team where the big three is not working. I love to know what happened to Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. And Devin Booker cannot be dropping 50 to 60 points a game to win. That's just not possible. That's not possible. I don't like our chance against the Nuggets. I don't like our chance against the Thunder, Clippers. Heck, even against the Mavericks, who stomped us so many times. Wasn't it also on Christmas? Like, this team is also really confusing. We got fourth quarter collapses, third quarter giveaways. We can't play when we're behind. We can't play when we're ahead. We can only beat below 500 teams. But I don't know. The Rockets beat us a few times. Like, do you understand? The Spurs beat us a couple of times. We got handed last time to a Wemby-less Spurs. So I'm just saying, when we're looking at the totality of all this stuff, the Suns are in a very compromised situation. I'm sad. Legitimately sad. Because the Suns are not a real playoff team. We're not making a finals run. The Kings aren't making a finals run. The Lakers aren't making a finals run. The Warriors, unless they got some miracle, unless the GOAT Stephen Curry wants to make a run, they're not making a run. We're going to have this come down. Like, this is a very real situation. The scenario of the Denver Nuggets winning back-to-back championships has never been a real possibility. But if you go into the East, I really do believe this is the Boston Celtics' time. They've done it correctly. They have not mortgaged their entire future. They're not sold off. They've built. They were strategic. They got great pieces. Right? Look at them. It's great. I believe in the East, the Heat aren't going to have that miracle run like they did when they were facing the Nuggets in the finals, right? What they embarrassed the Bucks, but the Bucks are just an embarrassing team. I don't think the Heat are all of that. I don't think the 76ers are all of that. I don't think the Bulls are all of that. I don't think the Hawks are all of that. There's too much, like the Hawks are too dysfunctional, and the same can be said for the Bulls. But what's new? The Heat are just up and down. I don't know what Coach Spo's been dealing with recently, but this is not good. Unless Himmy Butler turns it on, this team's cooked. The 76ers, I'm sorry. You guys are done. They used to be a top 3 team too. But if you're going to say to me, and this is why the East is easier than the West, that the Celtics are going to be stopped by the Heat, Pacers, Cavs, match whoever the team is, that's just downright wrong. In the Bucks, the answer, and I know crybaby Giannis wanted Adrian Griffin gone, same with Dame, because they were being pushed like men and actually live up to expectations and play. So they had to boot him, get a failed Glenn Rivers, who's never done anything in his career except be carried by that OP, funny enough, OP Celtics team, right? But this Buck team is not scary. They're not scary at all. They're underperforming. Their defense is whatever. Their offense is up and down. People are questioning if Dame and Giannis can play together. People are saying, I think it was Gilbert Arenas or maybe it was Kenyon Martin. They were just saying that Damian Lillard does not make players around him good, better. I'll disagree with that, but when you're looking at this, I take the Knicks as a scarier threat, but the Knicks haven't been that healthy. In fact, they're losing pieces left and right. OG Anunoby has been up and down due to injuries, but OG's so good. Julius Randle, that's bad. He's being shut down, right? There's a process there. Jalen Brunson's been playing out of his mind, but it is what it is. Isaiah Hartenstein's been doing good, right? But you're going to walk to the finals. The Celtics are going to have an easier time to the finals this year than what they had to endure in 2022. Let's be so for real. Let's be so for real. Because the players of JT, JB, Porzingis, White, Horford, Pritchard, all of those guys, everything, Sam Hauser, honestly, it's fantastic. And there's not enough firepower on any one of these East teams to combat the greatness, the great talent, the great skilled individuals that are on this Celtics team. They're on this Joe Mazzulla team. The only team that's able to stop them is the Nuggets. I really do believe we're going to see a Nuggets Timberwolves matchup. I really do believe we're going to see that. Wait. Did I just say Nuggets Timberwolves? Hold up. It's been a long day. I mean, I think we're going to be seeing a Nuggets. I think we're going to be seeing a Nuggets Celtics. I think we're going to see a Jason Tatum, Nikola Jokic showdown. And this just goes even further into my idea of Jason Tatum being the next face of the league when LeBron James retires. If you guys want to check out that podcast episode, go ahead. It was actually very fascinating how I broke it down because he's always been a playoff guy. He's always been thrusted into the spotlight and into big moments. Like, he's never been on a mediocre Celtics team. He's always elevated them. He went toe-to-toe against a prime LeBron in a very young Celtics career. That's how long he's been a member of the Celtics. So I think it's time for the youngster to get his moment. That's just me, though. That's just me. But I hope this starts to make sense. That's just where my mindset's at. And don't worry, guys. I'm going to be expanding upon all this stuff. On all this stuff. Come Saturday. Come Saturday, I'm going to be doing everything I can to break it down even further. But I just want to check the seeding updates. I want to talk about the plan a little bit. I want to talk about how teams are doing. Right? Because that's all foundational. That's all key. You need that. Plain and simple. Well, guys. Well, boys and girls. Well, ladies and gentlemen. That's all I got for today's show. The circus continues. I continue. The league continues. You know where to find me. CourtSideHeat.com. Social media. I'm everywhere. Everywhere. I appreciate you guys listening to the entire episode. I know it's long, but I appreciate you guys taking the time listening to this. Checking out my content means a lot. So, for all that being said, peace out. I'll see y'all Saturday. Get some good rest. And yeah, that's pretty much all I got to say. Peace.